TikTok shop versus just TikTok videos. Which one works or need to be linked together?
So we are focusing with our clients on TikTok Shop because the conversion rate is higher due to the shopping cart.
So for a seller who want to start on TikTok shop, do you recommend just to start it organically without promoting?
If you're complicated about communicating that, you're not going to get a lot of traction.
Amazon, we have Helium and Data Lab. There are plenty of softwares, right? Is there any specific software for that?
But you do know if that video is making money with ad spend or not ad spend in general.
Ecom Squeezed podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Ecom Squeezed. I am your host, Sebastian, founder of Retail-Outsource. And today we are diving into a topic of Amazon sellers, how Amazon sellers can leverage TikTok. So this is not just for dancing viral videos or anything. So it's mainly for sellers who can drive traffic to and increase their sale and brand growth. Joining us today is Ian Page, the CEO of Bullseye Sellers. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is how Amazon sellers can leverage TikTok to get more sales. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thanks for having me.
So great. Let's start by giving some basics about you, how you end up starting the agency. And you are kind of renowned on the TikTok side, right? So yeah, if you can give us some background, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'm an Amazon seller. So I sold on Amazon before ever starting an agency. I got into e-commerce in 2015, launched my own brand, ran that for about 2 years, sold it, and then I didn't really know what to do with myself, so I started taking on consulting gigs for other sellers. And that quickly was difficult to scale. You can only sell so many hours of your own time. And so I decided to actually start a full-fledged agency helping sellers sell on Amazon, particularly FBA, CPG products, a lot of supplement skincare clients. And we still manage a lot of Amazon to this day. So that's the origin story of Bullseye Sellers.
That's great.
But TikTok has been the big focus of mine for the last 2 years.
Great. And so you have hands-on experience on selling on Amazon. That's kind of a big advantage compared to a lot of other people, agencies, I will say, who doesn't have any kind of experience on selling, right? So my first question is, most of the Amazon sellers, they are kind of reluctant to step into the TikTok side, basically to drive traffic to Amazon. What you have consulted with a lot of sellers, I assume by this time, right? So what are the kind of stopping them to go to TikTok?
Yeah, and they should be reluctant because it's a whole new marketplace and it's not an easy one. TikTok is not a marketplace, specifically TikTok Shop is not a marketplace where you can just find what keywords convert and bid on keywords and let it ride. And TikTok is very product specific. So there are a lot of categories that do well on TikTok, but there's equally a number of categories that do not perform well on TikTok. So when we're taking on a potential TikTok client, we talk to honestly, about probably 10 to 15 companies per week that want to get on TikTok. We only say yes to about 40% of those inquiries. Because what you need on TikTok is you need a product at the right price point, and I can go into what that is. You need a product that does well on video because the product is the star. That's the movie star of the video. So the product has to be very good at demonstration on video. Show a before and after, show a change, show some sort of alteration, solve a problem, identify a pain point and a solution. And you can't always do that with a lot of products that are more considered kind of household goods, or some supplement products are very difficult to do that with. So I can give examples of products that we've done that have done very well with demonstrating on video. Okay. And then, go ahead, and then I'll explain more.
Yeah. So Ian, you mentioned about some categories will work and some doesn't work on TikTok. So could you give us some example for the viewers, and which category do you think kind of the top performer?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's easy to see the top performer. It's pretty consistent with what we're finding as our top performers. But yeah, the top performers on TikTok right now are beauty, because with beauty that you can show a transformation on film, on video. And then second to that is a very, very strong emerging category is the toy category. We've had a lot of success with toys because, again, toys do very well on video. And in beauty, makeup is huge. Again, does well on video. So there's a common thread here that something has to it has to be performative. If your product doesn't show a change, it's difficult because then the shopper is reliant on the person's claim versus seeing, and seeing is believing. So those are some that are performing very well. Clothing is performing extremely well on TikTok. Again, clothing is very performative, very demonstrative. Look what I look like when I put this on. I look skinnier, I look more fit, I look more beautiful, I look more handsome. So that's why clothing does very well on TikTok as well.
And we have TikTok Shop that you can sell item, and we have TikTok videos that you can generate views and brand awareness and stuff like that, and maybe to drive traffic to Amazon. So TikTok Shop versus just TikTok videos, which one works, or it need to be linked together? What's the structure
The
between both?
structure is Shop. And what Shop is, it's like Instagram and Amazon had a baby. That's TikTok Shop. So it's a video content with a shoppable link in the video, embedded in the video. So it's like, imagine if Instagram had a shopping cart on it where they can, inside the video, without ever leaving that video, they can buy the product with one click. That's TikTok Shop. So we are focusing with our clients on TikTok Shop because the conversion rate is higher due to the shopping cart and the one-click checkout embedded in the video.
Okay, so I assume there is a sponsored or promoted style videos or items that you can do on TikTok, same like Amazon PPC. So for a seller who want to start on TikTok Shop, do you recommend just to start it organically without promoting, or do you say, okay, do the promotion as well at the starting when you start selling on TikTok Shop?
Yeah, so let me give you the kind of flow of scaling an
Okay,
account. Okay, so
pretty fantastic.
let's assume the mundane, boring stuff of getting your shop approved is done.
Yeah,
After that, the next thing you have to do is you have to get affiliates to work with your brand. This is the hardest part. This is where 95% of shops fail and leave it and never do anything after. Honestly, it's a big problem because they realize very quickly that affiliates do not want to work with a brand new shop. So how do you get past that? If you have an affiliates that don't want to work with you, because again, affiliates want to make a lot of money. So they're not seeing a lot of potential with the shop that has zero sales, zero reviews, zero momentum. There's a whole cold start strategy that we have at Bullseye to accomplish that, and it's actually pretty straightforward. But for the sake of time, we can leave that right there is a 20-minute conversation of what we do to get through the cold start. But after you figure out how to get the attention of the affiliates, and there's some ways like having a very aggressive commission structure, stuff like that, lowering your standards, allowing brand new affiliates with no followers to represent your brand, just like, you're a new shop, you probably have to work with new
of
affiliates.
course.
Yeah, so what your focus there on day one is going to be is trying to get out as many samples as you can to affiliates that do respond to you. Typically, if you can get 100 samples out in the first month, you're doing well. And out of that, you're probably going to get about 70 to 80 videos posted to your TikTok shop. Okay, so what do you do now? You have 70 to 80 videos, you have people demonstrating your product on video. Hopefully, some of them did a good job. Most of them are going to do a terrible job. That's normal. Don't worry. I tell my clients, like, don't sweat it. It's very common for 80% of videos to not go anywhere and not look really good either, and especially in the beginning. So, what you're hoping for is really just one video to do well, and that would be that it produces organic sales on its own. So, it gets some views, maybe 4 or 5 thousand. It sells 20, 30 units. That would be a dream come true for the first 30 days of a shop, is to get that video that is performing, because what that teaches you is everything you need to learn to go forward and scale and repeat. You see, so that one video you can turn into hundreds of videos. There is an ad aspect to TikTok. It's called GMV Max. So you have the option to put that video into a kind of like a PPC style program where you can basically set a daily budget, you can set your ROAS targets, and you can run ads. And all that's going to do is just boost that video to more viewers. And that's going to be the next step after you get a video that has some sort of promise or performance. And then you're just going to do that and repeat over and over and over again and scale the accounts. And I can show examples of what the accounts look like 6 months later, 8 months later. But once you have that first success, you're really on your way.
That's a good structure that you have, Ian. And you mentioned to contact, to get the influencers is very hard, right? And I have seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn, how you can get those influencers. Some says, just send them free. If you're, let's say, let's put the benchmark first. Let's assume that seller is like making 100,000, not that much, just starting up per month. For those kind of sellers, what kind of offer do you think, they can offer to the influencers? Is that free product, just free products, or maybe a certain commission? What is the best way to solve that?
A lot of it depends on the product, of course. Some products have more value than others. If you're giving out a
See,
product with a cost of goods of $5, you probably have to be pretty aggressive on the commission.
yeah,
So, you're looking at 20 to 25% commission if they make any sales, which is very aggressive. And that's not a commission you're going to sustain long term. We even have some accounts where it's so difficult to get those early affiliates to work with the brand that we actually talk to our clients about having a retainer budget, 2 to 5 thousand a month, where we can actually go off TikTok's platform and work with a third party creator network and actually pay creators for a guaranteed amount of videos for X amount of dollars up front. So that does happen. And I don't expect every brand listening to this to have the budget to do that, but that is something that we sometimes have to do. And it just speeds things up because then we can get higher level creators to move the needle because we paid them, let's say, $1,000 for 5 videos or 8 videos, right? So there's a
yeah.
couple ways to do it.
Great, great. And you mentioned that 80% of the videos will not go viral. Like 20% will be kind of will come out, right? Will have views and everything. So what are the kind of ingredients for those high converting or famous videos or TikTok videos?
That's kind of black box magic sauce of TikTok, right? But there is consistency. There is definitely something that I've noticed which is consistent, is that the video has a very clear message and very quickly and simply communicates a problem and a solution. If you're
Great.
complicated about communicating that, you're not going to get a lot of traction. But if you're simple, for example, we have multiple different brands that sell skin creams for skin conditions, acne, psoriasis, eczema. That's a big problem for millions of people. The best performing videos just basically show the application on skin and show a before and after of the skin for eczema or psoriasis or acne. And they're to the point, they show the change, and they multiple times mention the product and the brand. And they're short, 30 seconds. So for example, if I'm selling like an eczema cream, I could literally show it being applied to my area of eczema, whether it's me that has eczema or my son or my daughter or my wife or someone that I can find that has some sort of skin condition. I show it being applied. Then I come back, let's say the next day, I show the eczema improved and I just make a quick video on it. At the end of the day, no one's going to believe you with your words. They want to see it. They want to see that eczema is improving. They want to see that that acne has gotten better. They want to see that your hair is growing. They want to see that you lost 5 pounds. Whatever it is, you have to somehow show that problem solution in a short amount of time.
Yeah. So the structure is addressing pain points, showing the proof, and that last call to action. Maybe is
That's it.
that the structure?
It's that
Okay.
simple. What doesn't matter is how beautiful the person is. That doesn't matter. What doesn't matter is, how good the hook is in the beginning. That actually doesn't matter as much. What matters is just quickly identifying the problem and quickly and clearly identifying the solution. That at the end of the day beats any sort of beauty or extra frills that you could put on a video, dancing on your head. All these things at the end of the day are not important compared to this will help your condition. Buy it now.
Great. Ian, I want to ask you about the AI. So we have, I think, Google's VO3. I'm not sure. It can generate videos, right, based on stills and everything. So have you tried it to create TikTok videos with that? How
Yes.
successful is it compared to a genuine organic one?
I don't know if we've used VO3 specifically, but there's a lot of AI video services out there, and we've had almost no success. And
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
true.
my peers and agencies have also had almost no success.
Why?
Here's why. People have a clear sniff test for AI. People can smell a rat. People know it's AI and it's not genuine. What I do think AI is going to get to a point where there is no way to tell. and then we're going to have some serious opportunities. But AI is not there yet. There is always a way to tell. You can still feel, you can still smell, you can still just taste it. It's not the same as human beings doing what they do. So we played around with it, but we've abandoned that strategy. We went back to real human beings selling products because it works.
That's
And also the problem with AI is the AI is always going to look a little polished. It wants to look beautiful. And humans make mistakes. Humans do things and those mistakes are what actually give the video some life. They give the video that organic nature. The fact that they might sneeze, or the fact that they might look a little funny at a certain part, or the fact that the model, the person they're showing it on is arguing, or something that came up in life, and they try to hide it the best they can, but you can always tell that that's real life, and that real life is what the person relates to that's watching the video.
great, great. And at the starting of the podcast, you mentioned about you don't take all the clients, right? Because there are certain categories will not perform well. But do you do any kind of like a market research or anything? I know you understand the full what will work and what will not work. But if you select one, do you do a market research and do you see the demand? And if you do it, do you use any software? For example, on Amazon we have Helium 10, Data Dive. There are plenty of softwares, right? Is there any specific software for that? So it's a bunch of questions to answer.
The answer is yes. We have Calo Data, which is Kalo. And then there's FastMoss. Both of them are like a Helium 10 for TikTok. With Calo Data and FastMoss, you can actually look at demand trends. You can actually look at what categories are selling, exactly what each month. You can look at what shops are selling. You can look at what products within those shops are selling. And you can even look at what affiliates are performing and how much money they're making for those shops. So you actually know more than you do with Helium 10, because Helium 10 doesn't tell you exactly how much money that product made on that keyword in the last 30 days. Like you're never going to know the exact spend and the exact ROI on a specific keyword for a competitor on Amazon. But with TikTok, you can. You can literally see this creator did 7 videos, got this many views, got this much in sales for this much commission for this brand. And that's
Right.
incredible, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
we
So is that
always
kind
do
of
we
first
do a dive.
is that a kind of a first party data that these softwares are getting from directly from TikTok?
Yep, directly from API. It's all public
Okay.
information. Yeah. So the only thing you don't get is ad spend, but it does show you what videos are being pushed with ads, but you don't know their exact spend in ROAS. But you do know if that video is making money with ad spend or not ad spend in general. But Sebastian, there's another thing. There's also just my gut feeling. Like if I have a client on a call and they don't seem to have a stomach for TikTok,
Okay.
okay, I will say no to the client, not just the
Okay.
brand.
So
And
it's a gut feeling.
it's a gut feeling. If I ask a bunch of questions about investment, about willingness to lose the money if things don't go well, I kind of like someone who's willing to go into it almost like they're going into a casino and they're at the roulette table. And I want that client to come in and be willing to put all that money into that roulette table without any regard for getting it back. And I know it sounds like an extreme ask, but the clients that we have doing well are more long-term focused and believe in the mission of TikTok Shop and are willing to invest and invest and invest. And they're willing to have, a few losses, because you're going to lose more in the beginning. And the last thing we want is for the client to get cold feet right before we start getting momentum.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of it that's kind of like, this individual is comfortable with the Amazon world, and that doesn't necessarily translate to top of funnel advertising.
Got it.
And
Yeah. Nicely explained though.
you know the type of sellers I'm talking about, where they just want to have
Yes.
their predictable ROAS. If their ACoS goes above, you know, 42 and their tacos goes above 16%, they lose their minds, right?
True.
Yeah. Okay.
Agree
So
on that.
yeah, that might not be a good fit for TikTok Shop, but we also, at the end of the day, I have to believe in the product and being a good visual fit. And I just interviewed a client yesterday that had a patent on a really, really great hair drying product for women. and they're the only ones that have this patent for drying hair, and their product dries a woman's hair more efficiently than their competitors. And I went, okay, this is a product I can sell on TikTok. Women dominate TikTok, and the fact that this product can show on any woman that has long hair how quickly and effectively it dries her hair, no problem on TikTok Shop. So, it's not necessarily just, oh, this is a good category. I also have to just believe in what emotional response is that video going to do to a person watching it? And is it going to get them off the couch? Because TikTok is disruptive marketing. The person's not at that moment searching for hair drying solutions. They're sitting on their couch looking at cat and dog videos. And next thing they
True,
know, they are
true.
seeing a woman demonstrate this cool hair drying solution. And they have to go from watching cat and dog videos to paying $25 for something that they weren't even thinking that they needed 2 seconds ago. You see?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got
That's
it,
the
got it. Yeah.
difference.
Ian, you mentioned, it will take time. At the starting, there'll be, you don't expect that much returns, and it will take time to pick up, right, the sales and everything. So I know it can be different depending on the category and the brand and everything, but on average, how long, how many months? Is that 3 months, 6 months to see a results?
Yeah, let me actually show. I think showing is better than telling.
Always.
Show and tell, right?
Yeah.
So let
Visual
me let
always.
me let me find my tab here and share it. I'm trying to share a specific tab.
Okay.
I don't know if it,
Should allow you.
yeah, let me try again. Screen. I'll just do screen one, and then let me know if you see this.
Yes. Yeah. Your website.
Okay, good. So we just updated these case studies. Um, and this brand here started 11 months ago. The first viral moment was about 60 days in, so February. And then we learned from that, and then we pivoted quickly. Okay, this person figured out a winning formula, and we've been literally repeating that exact winning formula for this brand ever since February for the exact same product and the exact same type of video. Because it's like Amazon. If your product converts on eczema skin cream and you're getting 35% ACOS on that keyword, why aren't you going to double down on that keyword, right? So that's what we did for Tubworks. Now Tubworks is doing over $250,000 a month. And check this out. They're doing it with zero ad spend. We haven't had to boost
Amazing.
any of these videos because they perform so well. So this is best case scenario for a brand under a year. I'm just going to be honest. It's a best case scenario. This is a little bit more realistic. This brand is a men's skincare brand, solves a very specific problem for men. It's basically a hair removal for, you can apply it anywhere in your body. Obviously, what's more controversial is applying it to your nether regions. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the videos are performing because that's got some sort of, you know, it's more hooky to say, hey guys, for any guys that want to clean up their downstairs, this product works. And these videos are performing like crazy. This brand's only 4 months on TikTok. Okay,
Fantastic.
4 months. This brand
Amazing.
here, yeah, this brand here kind of defies logic because this product doesn't necessarily excite people. It's basically poop bags for dogs. Okay, not the most exciting product, but we put together a special bundle offer with a really good price. We realize that if you're selling a commodity product on TikTok, you have to have a really good offer. Does that make sense? If it's kind of a commodity,
Of
it
course.
has to have a really good offer. So we created a special bundle for TikTok for this brand, and we are 3 months in, and we're already at 100,000. And we started at 15,000. So we went from 15,000 to 100,000 in 3 months because of this bundle offer. And that bundle offer is performing great on TikTok. Um,
That's some great examples.
this brand here is a skincare brand. They're the ones with the eczema product. We found out on accident that their videos perform better with Spanish speaking affiliates. And I mean on accident. We just were accepting samples from affiliates, and some of those affiliates happen to be Spanish speaking. Those Spanish speaking videos outperformed the English speaking videos 10 to 1. 10 to 1. So, how would we have known that if we didn't accidentally send it to a few people who speak Spanish with a Spanish audience. So now this brand here, we are focusing 80% of our videos on the Spanish community. Yeah. Oh, and I want to point out one thing else. On this one here, we've achieved 10x in Amazon branded search. 10x. Their branded search used to be 200 per week on this one product, and their branded search last week went up to 2,700 searches a week for this one product. That's over 10,000 branded searches a month on Amazon. And guess who's the number one in their category on Amazon because of that? These guys.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it also has a halo effect, right?
Yes, it does have a halo effect, but I want to be clear that halo effect really kicks in over about $100,000 in sales. You have to do about 5 to 10 million views a month, and then you really see the needle move. If you're selling 10,000 a month in sales on TikTok, you're not really going to see a significant halo effect. You're going to wonder if it's even working on the halo effect. So it really starts to kick in at about 100,000, and that's when the branded search just goes whoop, just like crazy.
That's good to know. And at the starting of this video, not screen sharing, you mentioned if you find a winning formula for a specific video
Yes.
that went viral. So do you, going forward, do you just give that same structure to new influencers, or is that the same influencers? How does it work?
Yeah, so and I'm going to stop sharing now just so we can continue the conversation. So yeah, so we always triple down on the existing influencers. If someone has a good video, we're gonna reach out to that person. We're probably gonna move them over to a Discord community of like a VIP creator community for that brand, and we're gonna incentivize the heck out of that person to make more videos because that person is now a partner. Right? They're like a brand ambassador. So that's one thing. If that person has a good video, I want to get 100 more eventually from that same person. But we share her video or his video with other people. So now when we're doing outreach, we're going, this video worked, watch it, let me know what you think. And that person's going to do their own spin and their own creativity on the same concept. So it gives you a benchmark to work with. That's why it's very important in that first 60 days for a brand to have one video, get some sales and some traction, because that one video that performed $2,000, $3,000 in sales is going to make you millions because of what you learned from it.
Great. And Ian, you mentioned about the benchmarking, right? So what are the kind of the top level KPIs that you look into in order to say that it's a viral video?
Yeah, conversion rate is really important. There's two types of conversion rate. There's CTOR and CVR. CTOR is the percentage of people who click on the video shopping cart. Amazon calls those sessions in business
Yeah,
reports,
that's
right?
something new. That's why I was thinking, what is that?
Yeah, yeah. So CTR is basically just a percentage of people who see the video who click on the shopping cart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's called CTR in Amazon, right? Am I
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, click through
Then
rate.
you then you have CVR, conversion rate. So how many of the people who clicked now are going to buy? So what we focus on is conversion rate mostly, and a healthy shop is above 2%. Okay. And remember, this is disruptive marketing. This person's not searching. This is not bottom of funnel. Don't expect 10 to 20% like you get on Amazon. The person's not at that moment searching for that product. So 2% is actually healthy to disrupt somebody. The minimum I would want on a shop is 1%. That's like under 1%, you have a problem with your offer at that point. So those are what we look at. We look at, because we can get views. Views are, you can either pay for views or get them organically. Like views are easy to get. You can pay endlessly to get views. The problem isn't views. The problem is that CTOR and CVR. If you can convert those views into clicks who then buy, now you have a winning formula. So we focus on getting that CVR above 1% and ideally over 2. That brand I showed you that's doing a 250,000 in sales, they're at 2.84% conversion rate. And look how much money that's making them, because that 2.84%, which seems like a small number, is high because they're getting 20 million views a month.
Jeez.
Exactly. So it adds up. So that's
Yeah.
what we focus on.
So, my last question will be, for a lot of sellers on Amazon, they spend thousands and thousands of dollars on PPC every month, right? But they don't have any presence on TikTok, for example. But from your examples, most of them are without ad, right? It's just the spend. So what will be your advice to those sellers?
Yeah, you cut out on one part of on the last part of your
Yeah.
question.
So
If you
for
can ask it
example,
one more time.
yeah, sure. So for example, if your seller is spending thousands, let's say, 20 grand a month on Amazon PPC, but they don't have any kind of presence or traffic coming from TikTok. Right? So for those kind of sellers, what will be your advice? I know Amazon is getting really tight with PPC. The costs are going up, so it's very. Some bids are like $30 per click, so it's crazy. What will be your advice?
Yeah, so if they're a good TikTok fit and they kind of have that product that can show well on video, identify a problem, identify the solution, and I would say if they're not a supplement brand, because we or nor my peers have had success with supplement brands. I've only had
Uh-huh.
two supplement brands do well. Just I'm very
Okay.
honest with people. Like supplements are very, very hard.
Okay.
So if they're not a supplement brand, yeah, look, yeah, right. I know, seriously. They're everywhere. And their product shows well on video. I would say to add an additional 5 to 10,000 a month in TikTok investment on top of that 20. Five would be on the low end, 10 would be very aggressive. And over the course of 6 months, that 5 to 10 should start performing in a break even and then profitable from there. And then once you get to that over 6 month mark where you're no longer pouring 5 to 10 in, but your profit is paying for itself, that's when you can relax and breathe a little bit and you could just focus on scaling up. And you're going to notice that that $20,000 in spend on Amazon is going to perform at a much better rate. Your tacos is going to dramatically reduce. Your ACOS is going to reduce. Your organic ranking is going to increase. So you're going to just see basically the halo effect of TikTok is the ideal situation for PPC on Amazon.
Yeah, and just my input also. For the videos that's been created on TikTok, for example, that's they generating traffic day on day, right? It's just going to stay there as long as it's not deleted. So on Amazon, on the other side, if you pay, it's just for that one view and it's finished. Your money is gone. Compared to TikTok, the video still generates views and clicks. So it's kind of evergreen, I would say.
Yes,
Ian,
yes and no, Sebastian. Just want to point out one thing. Videos do get fatigued, but
okay,
affiliates who make money stay with you and do more videos. Let's put it that way.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the right way to put it.
Yeah.
So Ian, where can the viewers find you?
Bullseyesellers.com. Check us out. Book a call on Bullseye Sellers. Now, there's a 40% chance we're going to say no to you. I'm kidding. But we will, if you do book a call and you talk to us, we're going to be honest and we're going to really look into your product and we're going to see if it's a fit. And you know that if we don't believe we can do something for you, we're not going to take your money. And that's very important. I will never take someone's money if I don't see a path to profitability for that client. So yeah, just book a call and let's see if you're a fit. And if you're international, we are one of the only agencies that actually can get you on TikTok Shop US.
That's
So
great to
that's
know.
really
So I will
important to
put
know.
great. So I will put all the links, Ian's LinkedIn profile, the website, and the link to book the call. Hopefully, you can provide that as well. So I will put all the details in the show notes. Please do check it out. And thanks again, Ian. It's been fantastic to talk with you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.